While there's no such thing as a perfect TV, only a TV that's perfect for you and your needs, the LG C4 comes very close to offering everything anyone would need in just one package. So how explosive is the C4? Let's find out. Hi everyone, I'm Phil Hinton and welcome to another video here on AV Forum's YouTube channel. LG's C-Series TVs are the sweet spot in the OLED TV range, and that's been the case for quite some years now. If you want the entire technical lowdown on the C4 TV, including our calibration measurements and tests, then you can head over to AV Forums where you can see all of that information in an easy to read format. The link is in the description. In this video, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of the C4 so you can decide if it's the perfect TV for you. So let's get started. The new C4 continues the tradition of offering excellent performance in several core areas with superb picture accuracy for watching film and TV content, along with WebOS 24, which is an excellent stable smart TV system and one of the most comprehensive gaming systems available on any TV in the market. The C4 is identical in its chassis design to last year's C3 and of course the C2 before that. The only difference we can see to the actual chassis is a new material being used on the back of the panel, which adds a nice touch if you're going to have the TV sat out in the middle of the room. But everything else kind of remains the same. It does remain one of the thinnest and lightest OLED TVs that I've used, and it's made from composite materials, yet it looks and feels premium in terms of its build quality. The stand is the same as last year's model and it's sturdy enough to hold the C4 firmly and in an upright position when it's used on a TV rack or tabletop like behind us. It's also available in 42, 48, 55, 65, 77 and 83 inch screen sizes with similar features throughout the range. The brightness is slightly dimmer on the smaller 42 and 48 inch screen sizes, but it's being reported this year that they will be brighter compared to the C3 small sizes, so we will fully test that when we get one of them in for review soon. Around the back of the set we have the connections, which include 4 full bandwidth HDMI 2.1 48 gigabits per second connections with support for HDR 4K 144Hz, 4K 120Hz including Dolby Vision HDR, NVIDIA G-Sync, AMD FreeSync Premium and VRR, as well as Game Optimizer and Dashboard, which gives gamers a complete control over their gaming experience with the C4. We measured the input lag at an incredibly low 9.2 milliseconds with 4K 60 signals and 4.7 milliseconds with a 120Hz signal. The C4 features all the relevant HDR formats including HDR10, HLG, Hybrid Log Gamma, Dolby Vision and Dolby Vision IQ with precision detail technology, but there is no support for HDR10+, but given the lack of content that's available in that format, I really don't see that as an issue. Also new for this year is the ability to use Filmmaker Mode with Dolby Vision content, which means that you get the picture preset that plays back Dolby Vision but without any unnecessary processing being applied, and you can then see the content as it was intended to be seen. So basically it's just a renaming of last year's Cinema Mode. Plus, when you're using Filmmaker Mode, the dynamic tone mapping is switched off by default, so well done LG for doing that with SDR and HDR10 content. In the Filmmaker HDR mode, we measured 943 nits on an industry standard 10% window and a full 100% white at 176 nits. And that is a little bit more than last year's C3, which was tested in the same way, and it measured in at 816 nits on a 10%, and at full screen it was 159 nits. So we have some brightness improvements over last year, and we're getting close to 1000 nits in an accurate HDR picture mode for watching films and TV content in HDR. The LG C4 tone mapping to the ST2884PQ E02F standard is also very good, with slightly different maps for mastering differences between 1000 and 4000 nit content. With 1000 nit master content, the tracking is accurate to the standard up to the peak brightness limit where it sets a hard clip. With 4000 nits mastering metadata, the C4 has a slightly different map that rolls off more gently and tries to preserve the peak details and scene APL as it does so. Obviously, the new professional mode within the dynamic tone mapping menu allows you to adjust this roll-off for various content from 1000, 4000 and 10,000 nit content, so you can make use of that if you have a meter. Wide colour gamut WCG tracking to DCI-P3 was also very good, with just a slight undersaturation to green at 100%, and saturation tracking on the chart was very good indeed with HDR10 content. Overall, colour performance is excellent in HDR10. We measured BT 2020 coverage at 71% XY and 76% UV, with P3 coverage coming in at 96% XY and 99% UV. Out of the box picture performance is superb on the LG C4 in Filmmaker Mode, with excellent colour and grayscale reproduction. Skin tones look lifelike and natural, with superb black levels and dynamic range with SDR and HDR TV film content. Normal TV viewing is also great, with excellent upscaling and motion, along with natural looking colours and excellent shadow detail retrieval. There's also an overall upturn in brightness within the out of the box Filmmaker Mode, making the C4 ideal for brighter room viewing. HDR10, HLG and Dolby Vision content looks great on C4, with colour and blacks that match the accuracy that we saw with SDR content. Specular highlight detail is also superb, with the C4 capable of superb dynamic range with HDR content. Even with content that was mastered at 4000 nits, the tone mapping employed by the C4 displays this content with good detail levels being the brightest specular highlight areas, which gives the TV more dynamic range and a much more punchy look. We have to also mention that with low bitrate content we did see some problems with the C4. Now, it is better than the C3, but should you buy the LG C4? The C-Series model from LG, it remains the sweet spot in the OLED range, and the C4 continues that trend with some slight image performance upticks, all wrapped up in a great multi-use package. It's got excellent build quality and a luxury feel, until you see the remote control. Unfortunately, just like the G4 that we reviewed recently, this is awful. This is the remote control. It's black, it's plastic. It works, it does everything you expect a remote control to do. It just doesn't feel like a luxury item like the TV behind me. So come on LG, let's get rid of this and have something that looks a little bit better. So getting back to the positives, the picture accuracy on offer from the C4 is so good that Hollywood quietly uses more LG screens as client monitors than all the other brands put together. That's according to LG anyway. And we really can't fault the connectivity, the video processing, the motion reproduction, gaming credentials and the smart TV interface. It's not perfect, as there's no such thing as a perfect TV, but at its market position and price point, it offers the type of features and performance that you would expect. As always, the question of value is for you to answer, and you could pick up last year's C3 model for less money and get 99% of the performance. So that may be a better option for you if you're happy to miss out on a couple of the slight upgrades we've mentioned. Overall, the LG C4 remains the do-it-all sweet spot in the LG range for 2024, and it comes highly recommended. If you want to read the full in-depth review of the LG C4, then why not head over to avforums.com, and if you've enjoyed this video then please do give it a like, and why not subscribe to the channel for more video reviews coming very soon. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.